Is that a cup holder?
Yeah. Now
What?
that's a good idea.
That's actually a really handy cup holder.
2003 Chevrolet Malibu. Hey, it's 2003 again, and the earliest memory from the first decade of my existence was filled with the letter N for the beginning letter to this car review gone berserk about badge engineering, brought to you by the maniacally American Detroit-based auto manufacturer General Motors. And at the top of this pyramid scheme of automotive class systems, the number one company under GM's umbrella, Chevrolet, remains king of the jungle book of mass market crony capitalism that sometimes gets it right and sometimes gets it wrong. 2003 Chevy Malibu, the official car for all things that are just called Malibu as some nonsense excuse to even bear the name of some beach on planet Earth, and used to be a symbolism for all things with pride and prejudice in this beautiful heartland we call America. This is a 2003 Chevrolet Malibu, and before we indulge into this classic love story brought to you by the Sanctuary of J on our life journey as we ended up in Texas, let's just get things straight. This Malibu, from model year 2003, is a ferociously unequal companion to its earlier and later generations. When a human utters the words to a Ibiza Beach sound system mix 027 and Malibu leaves the Labium Orises, thoughts of Palm City beach-loving millennials come to mind when you venture to Malibu, California, and see the sights and sounds of LA County homes of people in an industry of Hollywood label executives, movie stars, and other affluent residents in America's heartland of liberalism, and a one-way ticket to this quisquillion whiffler that exists in the hands of midlife crisis engineers and on top of the welded steel wheels at your local junkyard. 2003 Chevrolet Malibu. The 2003 Chevy Malibu is a transverse front-engine, front-wheel drive P90 platform four-door sedan that is a product under the generic master of automobile manufacturing, General Motors. And this car wears a blue bow tie with some really conservative-looking sustenance cooked up on some plate of hot fudge pies. And if you look at any of this car's brethren and sisterhood, there's not much differences between the 5 GMX 130s that exist in the galaxies of badge-engineered inceptions that have existed for as long as some people should think of that word as their own interpretation of it. The Oldsmobile Alero, Pontiac Grand Am, Oldsmobile Cutlass, Chevy Malibu, and Chevy Classic are all related by design, but bear different names and badges and plastic surgery because it's 2003, and I guess that's what people did back then. That was almost 14 years ago. 14 years. I know that may or may not sound like a long time, but it really can be depending on what kind of context you particularly choose to identify with. 2003 Chevy Malibu. It's a Laffy-Taffy joke that is so spoony that not even the tips of the Little Dipper would grace its presence. So this 5th generation Malibu was available with 4 engine options and 4 speeds of 4040E automatic transmissions with the 6th sense. Yeah, no manual because America has more important shit to deal with than to shift gears. A 3.1 liter GM L82 V6, 3.1 liter GM LG8 V6, 2.4 liter twin cam LD9 inline 4, or a 2.2 liter Ecotec L61 inline 4 was the fruitful pickings of the lot, and this particular Malibu has the GM LG8 V6. The LG8, which sounds like legate, whatever that means, is an iron block, aluminum-headed 2-valve push-rod sequential port fuel-injected V6 with secondary air injection and 191 cubic inches of 60-degree lifts and durations of push-ups needed to power this motor. It makes 170 to 175 horsepower and 190 to 195 foot-pounds of torque. That's not really much for a 3.1 liter V6, but then again, what do people even consider horsepower to equate to? I know there is some AP statistics student out there that could give me that answer. The more I look at this car, the more I have less faith in American auto manufacturers. I mean, you could argue that the newer versions are milestones better than this or previous generations, but then someone would argue over why old school is better and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. Yeah, those first gen Malibus did have V8s, but that was back in the 60s when acid was loose and your wife was looser. Chevrolet, hey, you guys, this one's for you. 2003 Chevy Malibu. If drinking the Kool-Aid was a sport, this thing would be the winner every fucking time. Oh, GM, why did this even get past the R&D phase? This shit even slid past 4 other CFOs, all under Big Daddy. I mean, this isn't much better than the Malaise era Malibus. Malaise? Anyone lost? The Malaise era was a time in American history from 1973 to 1983, in which American-made cars underwent changes by government regulations and customer preferences initiated focused on fuel efficiency and emission controls. The American car makers had a hard time competing with the smaller, more efficient imported sport cars. This didn't help General Motors at all, and the big Detroit Giant was no longer too big to fail. Oh yeah, but they still had big displacement V8s, yeah, American muscle. The Malaise era Malibus did have V8s, but even the 350 small blocks only made 170 horsepower at most. So all you Gen Xers out there that preach about how the past was so much better than the present, take a good look at your precious domestications now. 2003 Chevy Malibu, the official car for the kind of person who thinks using a turn signal is just an afterthought after you suddenly realize, oh shit, it's my turn to fuck someone's day up. The Chevy Malibu in this generation is a car that won Motor Trend's Car of the Year in 1997 and was later criticized by Car and Driver in 2009, stating that the Malibu was insufficiently distinguishable in terms of performance or interior quality to warrant such praise in hindsight. A super sport version of the front-wheel drive Malibus wasn't even offered until 2006, but that's a different animal for a different day. The 1997 to 1999 Malibus had a front grille with the Malibu logo in silver in center, and the 2000-2003 models in the Classic had the blue Chevrolet emblem on the front grille. This car weighs about 3,100 pounds and has a 0 to 60 time of about 9 seconds. 9 seconds. That's about the same time it takes to realize love at first sight, which surely you won't find looking at this thing. Some people might think I'm dogging the looks of this Malibu, but hey, everything is a matter of perspective. And the perception this car gives off is one found in the concept of velocity. Oh, you cats thought you were gonna get away without learning something, but oh no, you're gonna learn today, boy. Here we go. Velocity is a wish or desire to see something done, but not enough willpower to make it happen or take actions to pursue it. When the first gen Malibu debuted, it was a top-line sub-series of the mid-size Chevelle, and was even available in a full range of body styles, including a 4-door sedan, 2-door sport coupe, hardtop, convertible, and 2-seat station wagon. 5th gen Malibu was only offered as a 4-door sedan, and doesn't have the sort of styling and flair that the first gen possesses. I mean, yeah, I guess this was okay for 2003 standards if you base them on all of the life events that happened that year. 2003 Chevy Malibu, a car for the person that thinks wearing jean shorts is an acceptable fashion statement for middle-aged men. Sure, they might have the practicality of shorts and the durability of denim, but upon gazing at them, you find yourself in a bit of a predicament as you fantasize about all the ways to seduce your foreign fiancé from a country who is mentioned by all of the dead Kennedys. 2003 Chevy Malibu, the alternative Christian gospel section at the local Barnes & Noble. I'm glad Chevrolet didn't pull that real people not actors horseshit with this car like they do with their modern cars. Oh well, this Malibu looks like an Audi. Yeah. Real people not actors. Why the fuck are you on a car commercial then? I know you got castrated and paid to participate in that mad science experiment. Oh, and if you do honestly think the new Chevy Malibu looks like an Audi, do the world a favor and get your vision checked. 2003 Chevy Malibu, a collect call from the fourth kind stating, you guys can just have it, we don't want it. 2003 Chevy Malibu, a car designed by Detroit, Michigan and questioning the sanity of a General Motors engineer for the millionth time. Chevy Malibu, it's a second choice after undermining the intelligence of a young car prodigy after being asked to assist in finding a reputable daily driver for the creator. I'm not sure what's worse to think about, taking a dump on the side streets of Atlanta, Georgia, or the thought of all the grease circulating around the epidermis of fried chicken from churches. So what's this car like to drive? Look, it's no GM Performance Division cruiser or anything to write home about in terms of performance and handling capabilities, but it will get you from point A to point B in frequent trips to the airport without too many issues. But this car does have issues and I just can't even or odd. This car had recalls ranging from the GM ignition switch scandal to fuel tanks not produced with O-rings and retainers, which could result in spontaneous combustion, and the accelerator pedal is prone to sticking in the event of hot ambient conditions. Add-on cooling system issues like cracked intake manifold gaskets and overheating, and congratulations, you purchased an American Money Pit. An American Money Pit, an appropriate title for the bastard child products of General Motors Corporation. Oh yeah, this car has little release nipples on the coolant housings to alleviate pressure in the cooling system. And then everything is moist and steamy like the intercourse of questionable reliability of Family Matters. 2003 Chevy Malibu. When you thought you had enough fudge to pack the stomachs of coworkers, here's a love letter to getting it right the second time. Good luck with that, Malibu. The validity of the Malibu should just be a one-way ticket to the automotive graveyard in the sky, or on death row at Pull Apart, forever lost in her landfill. I need a beer. The end.
What is this supposed to be, like carbon fiber looking trim?
It all comes out in one piece.
Oh.
Well, how the hell did you do that? Well, I didn't know it was like that till I went underneath there to work on it. Yeah.
Wow.